Perfect. Give me another oval. Perfect. Give me another oval. Is that an oval? Okay. Another one. More ovals. Perfect. Ah. That's a diamond. You gave me a diamond. Are we out of ovals? So, the first time Henry ever learned the word compote, it came out akapote. And I never really worried that he might not ever say the word correctly or felt the need to correct him. On the contrary, I got a little sad when I realized that he had stopped saying akapote and started saying compote correctly. I thought it was cute. But I find him much less relaxed about the mistakes he makes when we do math together, and I'm a lot more inclined to push to get him to say the answer that I'm looking for, or be anxious or worried that he might not understand. And so this episode is about where that difference comes from, what it means, and the steps that I'm taking to make math feel just the same as all of the other things that he's already excited to learn. So one of the most obvious differences between doing math and learning to speak a language is that we use language every day and we don't often set aside time for it, at least not with younger kids. Math, particularly for me, is much different. I often have specific things I want to work on or try out, and so it's hard not to go into an activity without having an agenda or expectations of some sort. So with that in mind, let's take a look at how the card activity we saw in the beginning went the second time I tried it.
Will you show me a mistake?
So I'm asking for a mistake here because we watched the other video together, and I said, did you make a mistake on purpose as a joke? And he said, yeah, and he was very, very proud of that like the diamonds, and it's actually the same exact card, was like supposed to be a joke. And so what I thought is, well, maybe he'll think that anything that's not the same pattern is going to be called a mistake. Like maybe he can abstract that idea even further.
No,
and let's
fine.
take a look. Yeah, you'll see that I've laid all of the cards out with all threes and only one one to see if he'll sort of look at that and see it as different and maybe think that's the mistake. Let's keep going.
3. No, that's fine. Not a mistake.
I just have mistake.
It's so cute the way he says that, and it was really hard to keep saying no here. So we actually wrapped this up pretty quickly due to some technical difficulties, you'll see.
That's 3. That's totally fine. Where's the mistake?
He gets this one right.
Is that the mistake?
Yeah. So I'm sharing this to point out that learning is by nature very messy, and most of it isn't camera or Instagram worthy. But that doesn't mean it isn't valuable. We only spent maybe 3 minutes on this activity, and that's about as long as we spend on anything, even if it's going well. Because I want him to see math as a habit rather than a chore. If he finds something interesting about the activity that wasn't part of my plan, so to speak, I usually go along with it, even if it's just messing up the card table or throwing things. Because I always want him to feel that these activities are an attempt to have fun and make numbers part of that fun. And if I always have an agenda or I'm constantly correcting him, he'll start to view it as something that's for me and not for him or us. I wouldn't grill him for 10 minutes on the pronunciation of compote. I know he's going to have many chances to try it again, so I say it correctly once or twice, and then we have some compote and move on. So I'm making my second video all about this because I think it touches on something that's going to be a big part of the channel moving forward. And that is that we should learn math the same way we learn to speak, by doing it every day and doing it with confidence no matter what stage of learning we're at. I'm not saying that mistakes don't matter or they shouldn't be addressed or eventually corrected. What I'm saying is that if we only measure success by counting the mistakes we don't make, we're not celebrating all of the times that we chose to try. And so, in the same way we patiently watch kids stumble through language as they learn to communicate through words, let's do the same for them as they learn to communicate through math. Let's speak math every day. And more importantly, let's speak math to each other. Not just by setting aside time for it, but by always looking for opportunities to call out the myriad of mathematical ideas that appear in the world around us. And on that note, here's a little piece of math art that I put on Henry's playroom wall. We don't really do much with it other than point and talk about what we see. But as time goes by, he notices more and more things, and we have deeper and deeper conversations about, hey, I'm not done. Hold on. Where was I? Yeah, so I'll put a link to the printable version in the description so you can check it out. And I'll probably do an entire video on it at some point because there's just so much to unpack. Okay, go ahead.